Hi. So my name is Anasia McLam. Um, just a little bit about myself. I'm 37 years old. I'm a single parent of two children. I started a nonprofit organization where I do a lot of great things in the community, from hunger relief to Toys for Tots and self-help programs. I I'm also a school bus driver and a social worker by trade. I found myself last year in a situation where I was on my way to work and I was impacted by a vehicle that caused me to be out of work. Um, Also, not to have a vehicle. So finally, once things kind of settled down and I was healing and ready to get back to work, I needed a vehicle. So looking and shopping around in the market for a vehicle, I ended up at a used dealership called H&J Auto Sales, where I purchased a vehicle on September the 12th, 2023, which is right here is that sales paper that shows you the accurate date and the amount that I paid for the vehicle, which was $9,000 for a beautiful 2013 Kia Sorento. It was beautiful. I was told nothing was wrong with the vehicle, so I signed it as is, and good riddance and good faith that the dealership was doing what they were supposed to do. By September the 14th, so either way, I drove off with my vehicle. Everything was fine. September the 14th, I had to have work done to my vehicle. It started showing some signs of things of that sort. So, with me being a responsible car holder, I felt that it was my responsibility to, at least get the immediate work that was needed to my car done, which I did so. By the 15th, I was back at the dealership trying to understand why I had just purchased the vehicle that I paid $9,000 cash for, had to have work done it on the 14th, and now I'm bringing it back to you guys by the 15th. Well, that didn't go so well. I ended up having to file court papers, and I went to court and took that dealership to court. Um, I filed that paperwork on September the 15th. It went on and on. Dates of the courts kept getting continued. Things just, was just going haywire. And I was still without a car. I had just recovered and still in the healing process of all that I went through. So, next thing you know, by November the 17th, I received this letter here in the mail, which states that my car had a recall on it. And this particular recall, it has my VIN number, everything attached. I also wrote down the information that I received when I gave them a call because some of the symptoms that my car was experiencing kind of matched the recall. So I also took this letter with me to my next court date. I took it to them, and my case was actually, I lost that case. It was dismissed because of me signing the as is form. But on top of, once the judge saw this, she said at this moment in time, the dealership was out of the way and that I needed to contact Kia Consumer Affairs, which I did. So I contacted Consumer Affairs. They gave me a case number. Like I said, I wrote all of those things down here. Excuse me, but I like to jot things down so I can, know what I have going on. These are multiple conversations recorded that I've had it with, that I had with Kia Consumer Affairs. So getting the process started, okay, I contact Kia Consumer Affairs. I let them know that I had just purchased that vehicle. I've been dealing with this situation since last year. I let them know that I purchased the vehicle. Everything that I just explained to you all, I explained to them. I spoke with one of the customer representatives who then transferred me to a supervisor. The supervisor gave me the case number, listened to my case, I explained to her at this time that I've been without my vehicle. I'm not a mechanic. I don't know what's going on. All I know is the paperwork that has been sunk, before me. I know that I went to court, but I know that I'm just without a vehicle. I began to experience depression. I began to experience hardship because as a mother, my car helps me carry out my responsibilities. And being without that car, it has cost me numerous amounts of money on top of stress and diagnosis and things of that sort. Contacting Kia Consumer Affairs multiple times. Then during a conversation in December, remind you I've been without my vehicle for the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, and still up to this day, I'm still without a vehicle. During one of the conversations, I was told by a Kia representative that my car would be replaced regardless of what. They told me that at this immediate time, what I needed to do was to have my car towed to one of the dealerships. So I had my car towed to Kia Joey Griffin's dealership in Rocky Mount. My car sat at Joey Griffin's for over 30 days. During the process of my car being there, I'm still contacting Kia Consumer Affairs, like, okay, at this time, is there something that can be done? I need a vehicle. I still need to get to work. I still need to get my kids and things to daycare and wherever they need to go. Okay. They told me that I would need to speak to the dealership about a loaner vehicle. I spoke to the dealership. They explained to me that they did not have any loaner vehicles. I explained, then I called Kia Consumer Affairs back again to explain to them the hardship and all of the things that I'm going through, that there was no loaner vehicle. And at this time, because of the recall at hand with the HECU, which means that my car can catch a fire whether my vehicle is on or off, which is very scary. My anxieties are all over the place because I have a family. Not only do I have a family, I live in a home where all of my property, all of my things are here. I have neighbors who have property, and that could become a bit expensive if something, and I've already gone through so much in my life. I don't want that. So I asked them at that point in time, I began to educate myself. So I asked them if I could have my car replaced, because as I began to educate myself and doing the research and again, like I said, taking notes and conversations of everything, um, I began to, just want to know what my rights were and what rights I could actually have followed through during this situation. So, like I said, I had a conversation with one of the customer representatives who also involved her manager. They assured me that my car would be replaced due to the fact that, for one, there's no remedy or solution to what this recall is calling for, which means with no remedy or solution, which means, from my understanding, that the piece to even fix or to begin to fix my vehicle is unavailable. So to me, that was a lot. But with them explaining to me that my vehicle will be replaced regardless of what, once they got the diagnostics back, everything will be fine. So I was okay with that. Only to find out they called the dealership and had the dealership to expedite the service. They wanted them to go ahead on and do an immediate diagnostics on the vehicle. Remind you, my vehicle has is not running or anything. This is one of the pictures that I was able to get, and this is my thermometer. My car would run hot, it would smoke, I would experience heat on my gas pedal, the brake area. There was so much smoke that it seemed like my car literally caught a fire, but it was just the smoke or whatever, or maybe getting ready to start a fire. However, whatever, it caused damages. Once the diagnostics came back, it explained to me that my rod bearing had caused engine failure. So they immediately told me to disregard. I was told by Kia Consumer Affairs to disregard what their customer representative had explained to me, which was that regardless of what, I would have my car replaced due to the fact that there was not a remedy or a solution. They told me to disregard what she said, that she was, I guess, new and in training, and basically don't don't worry about that. Well, to me, that was a bummer and a slap in the face because I was betting on that, like, okay, well, this is a win win situation. So I will get my car replaced since there's no remedy, just to be told again by Clear Consumer Affairs that they were not going to do anything for me. Even with me expressing to them my concerns, expressing to them the safety issues of this matter, and that at this time, I've already gone through a lot with just purchasing this car. I was told that because the car was used, that there was nothing that they could do. I also, once I realized that the diagnosis of my car was not related to this particular recall, but another recall, because Kia Consumer manufacturers have a lot of recalls on different vehicles all the time, and I never knew that. But one thing that really hurt my feelings as a customer and as a person is that, looking up the meaning of Kia and what they stand for is to rise above and to get through. And it was like they were just pushing me and sinking me further and further down in this hole instead of, you know, standing on what you say you stand for. Um, the rod bearings and engine failure is actually another recall that Kia has on a lot of vehicles. They said my vehicle is not included. I was told that at that time, basically, it's regardless of their negligence, regardless if my car could catch a fire or not. At this point, it doesn't matter. It's basically my problem. They're bad. That was a lot for me. So I began the process and I'm still fighting, still to this day. I'm on the phone with you all doing this interview. Right now, I am talking to the Better Business Bureau. I am Autoline. I have been contacting different organizations that have dealt with this and speaking out. I'm actually in the process of searching for an attorney to help me get through this because this is a lot. So basically, just to sum everything up, like I said, and this is the title. I'm the owner, the registered owner. There's only been one other owner prior to me being the owner of this vehicle, and basically, I just had my vehicle towed back to my house, my residence. It is parked outside, but I'm afraid. I'm afraid because at any given time, my car could explode. Is what this recall, and it says it here. It says it right here on the recall. The HECU, electrical circuit board, is what it stands for. That the vehicle could cause, because of the defects, can result in engine compartment fire, increasing the risk of injury. And like I said, I explained to Kia Consumer Affairs, thinking that they would listen to their customers, that they would listen to people who own products that were manufactured by them, that they would have some type of compassion, that they would have some type of understanding. There was none. I have been rudely talked to. I have had the phone hung up on me. I have went from talking to customer representatives to having it escalated up to their escalations team. I've been calling during this process. No one is understanding what I'm going through. I'm still healing from the accident that I had prior to even purchasing this vehicle, just to continue to experience more stress and more. It has been a nightmare. I'm still fighting. I'm still fighting, and it's my anxiety levels are through the roof, and I'm just gonna be honest because I don't know. I mean, if you can imagine receiving a letter and having a vehicle that has broke down and have shown signs that it can actually catch fire and things of that sort. I mean, that's enough to have anxiety and all kinds of issues. Like, who wants that? I have a 5-year-old daughter and I have a 9-year-old son, and I have my life, and I have my neighbors and people in the community around me, their lives. Like, I would hate to for something like terrible to happen, all because of a vehicle that I own, the manufacturer by a company who could care less, pretty much.